Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Art, Money, Success podcast. I am your host, Maria Brophy, and today I'm going to tell you how putting your art on consignment could kill your art business. Yes, I'm going to share with you dramatic extremes, both good and bad, of putting your art on consignment. Now, in my last podcast, I explained to you what consignment is, and I'll tell you again, um, just in case you didn't hear that podcast, but I do recommend you go back and listen to it. And consignment is essentially when you provide your artwork and your products to a retail store or gallery with no obligation to pay for it unless they sell it. That is how galleries have worked for millennia. I don't know, hundreds of years. I really don't know how long, but forever. Galleries have always operated that way, where they take your art on consignment, and the only time you get paid is when and if your art sells. Now, I'm going to share with you a good story where it's worked out well. And I'm also going to share with you how putting art on consignment in retail stores nearly put us out of business. Okay, so the good story, a friend of mine many years ago, when I was asking him about this, when I was writing my book, Art, Money, Success, I asked my friend, how many galleries do you have your art in? And is this consignment thing working for you? Now, for this friend, he had 6 or 7 art galleries in Hawaii selling his art. He lives in California, and he told me, yes, I do well with these galleries because I have so many galleries selling it, and my art sells well in Hawaii. It really appeals to tourists that go to Hawaii because it's Hawaiian themed and it's fine art. And he just hit on a style that a lot of people love. And so he was doing really well with having his art on consignment, and good for him. And he is one of the few really good stories that I've heard of, personally, with artists that are actually making a really good living with their art in art galleries. Now, many, many years ago, Drew and I came up with this great idea: print his art on t-shirts and stickers and hats and small art prints. And we said, wouldn't it be great, since Drew's art is very surf inspired, and there were over 1,000 surf shops in the United States at that time, why don't we try to get this product line into surf shops? And we did. And you know what? We actually had a lot of success with it. However, a number of the surf shops said, we'd like to sell your stuff, but we want to do it on consignment. We don't want to place an order and pay for it. What we want to do is have you provide us with the product, and if it sells, we pay you. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you what that really looks like. Okay, so we take our products, like $1,000 worth of products that we paid for in advance to have made, and we put it in Surfy's Surf Shop in Santa Cruz, California. And we take it in there, and Surfy's Surf Shop says, all right, great. We'll pay you if it sells. Come back and check in a month. Well, we live a 5-hour drive away. So, it's a little bit of work going up there and checking in a month. So a couple months later, we go up to Surfy Surf Shop, which, by the way, I changed the name to protect the innocent. So we go up to Surfy Surf Shop a couple months later, and we're looking around, and the owner's not there. The employees are, and we're like, where's all the product? I guess they sold it all. None of it's out. This is great. I can write them an invoice for, a couple $1,000, because it was wholesale pricing, total $2,000 worth of product. And so I go to the employee and I said, I want to leave this invoice for the owner. Well, I hear from the owner like the very next day, and he said, I haven't sold any of your stuff. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't see any of it in your store. It looked like it was all sold. He said, it's in the back room in boxes. He didn't have any obligation to sell our product. He did have very good reason to sell all the other product he had in the store that he bought from Rip Curl and Billabong and all these other surf companies, because he had to pay for that product when he ordered it. So there was no skin in the game, and he didn't care that much. He got busy, kind of forgot about it, got lost in the back room. Well, when things get shoved in the back room, they tend to get damaged. They tend to, not only that, but think of all the money that we lost with that product sitting. Now you take that scenario and you multiply that by 10, 20 stores, and you're losing a lot of money. So a few things to think about consignment. Now that's an extreme example, right? But when you provide your work to a store on consignment, they're not going to put it in the premium top sales location in the store because they have no skin in the game. They're going to put the stuff they have to pay for in the prime location in the store, and your stuff is going to end up hidden in the back. Keeping track of what's on consignment is a lot of work. You do lose money because products go missing, things get lost, things get stolen, things get damaged, and you ultimately are the one who pays the price for it. So that is why I am so against consignment. And here's the other thing. Most of the artists that I know that are considering doing consignment in stores, it's small numbers. So for example, this artist that I talked to the other day named Fred, who gave me the idea for this podcast topic. Fred said, look, I want to sell my art on small prints and greeting cards to this particular store, this retailer, and they don't want to pay for it. They want it on consignment. And I said, well, let's do the math on it. So how many greeting cards? Okay, 25 greeting cards. Your cost to them is $2.50 each. You're going to put 25 greeting cards in there. We'll do the math on that. $2.50 times 25 greeting cards, that's $62.50. I don't leave my office for $62.50. I mean, I don't leave my office for, $1,000. Like, it's such a waste of time to even have this conversation with a store. Why wouldn't they just pay for it? $62. You can't have a dinner out for $62, not in California anyway. Heck, I went to lunch the other day and it was $75 for 3 people. And that was in a small little cafe. It wasn't even a fancy place. So, $62.50, it's not even worth your time to talk about. So in my next podcast, I'm going to share with you solutions, how to make consignment work for you, because there are ways to get stores to carry your product. There are solutions, and there are ways to deal with it. And I am here to help and share with you all these things that I figured out the hard way. By the way, I figured it all out the hard way. And a lot of this stuff is in my book, Art, Money, Success. I recommend you check it out. It's on Amazon. It's also on Barnes and Noble and probably a lot of other bookstores. It's on Audible. I recorded it myself in my own little voice. And you can also get it on Kindle. So check my book out if you like some of this stuff I share, and check out the other links. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, follow, leave a comment or a review, depending on what platform you're on. And thank you for being there and listening to me, because you give me purpose in life. If I wasn't doing this, I don't know what I'd be doing. Love y'all. Bye-bye.